Good afternoon. In this PowerPoint presentation made by two undergraduate students of University of Puerto Rico at Mayagüez, you will see this topic, Iguanas invasive species in Puerto Rico. We are Elan Antonio Reynoso, student of Premedical, and Melina de los Santos, student of Animal Science. I hope you like it. Iguanas, invasive species in Puerto Rico. Iguanas are an invasive species in Puerto Rico. In this PowerPoint presentation, we are bringing out this topic for you to know why are them here as an invasive species, what are we doing about it, and why are them bad to Puerto Rico. Iguanas, we don't give so much importance or attention to them, to be honest. But we can see later in this presentation why we have to do it. They are a risk for our native species or native endangered species, for agriculture, and for human security and infrastructure. The truth is that in the end, iguanas are an additional cost in our lives. This PowerPoint contains general information about iguanas for you to know the species, information about how they became invasive, how they came into Puerto Rico in the first place, what are we doing about it these days, primary and secondary research. In primary research, we interview an ecologist at the university, and in secondary, we use newspaper articles of El Nuevo Día, Primera Hora, well-known newspapers. And finally, you can see a video that is so interesting. General information about iguanas. There are about 8 types of iguana, but the one we see commonly in Puerto Rico is the green iguana. They can grow up to 6 feet long or 1.8 meters if you're used to that. Their weight can be about 11 pounds. They have a plant-based diet. They like to eat fruit and vegetables and stuff like that. Because of that, they affect crops and agriculture. You will see later in this presentation. Sharp tails are used for defense. They can be half of their body, that is so long, and as you know, like another lizards, iguanas can heal its tail if it lost in a fight. How iguanas arrived in Puerto Rico and became an invasive species. Iguanas came as pets in the 70s. People began to get them, and then when they grow, people began to leave them everywhere. They do not live so much in captive because they have to have specific conditions, but outdoors in Puerto Rico climate, they are perfect. They live about 20 years outdoors. They start laying eggs. Females put up to 30 to 75 eggs that will harvest in a 90%. That's so high. And that's why, because of irresponsible people, this exotic species became invasive. What do they affect? Iguanas affect crops and gardens. Like I said before, they like to eat fruits, vegetables, flowers, and that affect agriculture, obviously. They delight flies as they take the sun on the runway, causing the airlines to lose money. They affect other animals, specifically they affect the endangered species of Puerto Rico because they fight for food. They affect structures, they affect swimming pools since they do their needs there, causing the owners to have to clean that up, and they affect the roads because they can cause accidents. What are we doing to control this situation? Right now, we are controlling egg harvest because it's essential to not let these species continue reproducing, continue getting born in the island because we have about millions of them. We have more iguanas than people in the island, and we are killing them for their meat, but that is in a specifically way because you have to get them alive to where they are cooking them because the risk of salmonella. But that's basically what are we doing right now. How can we help? The best we can do basically is call natural resources for what I said before to their egg control. Do not kill it because in that way we cannot use it for their meat and that will be a waste. And do not bring study species and be responsible. Because of irresponsible people, we have this iguana problem. We have alligators in our rivers because of people who don't think beyond. We have to protect what is ours, and by doing that, you don't see how much problem you bring. As primary research, we did an interview to Jaime Acosta, an entomologist and professor of general biology and ecology at the university. Ecological importance. Invasive species looking for a niche. A niche is a function within the ecosystem. Right now, they are in their searching, so it does not have an ecological function yet, but will have it soon. Iguana has spent very little time on the island yet to develop a function, but they will have in several years. The arrival, exotic species brought as pet. When we refer to exotic species, we refer that these species were not in Puerto Rico. They were brought as pets, then when they grow, people began to love them. Are iguanas a plague? When a species became a plague? Plague, according to Jaime Costa, is something that bothers us. A plague is something that bothers us, and iguanas bother us in the sense that they eat crabs and eat fruits and eat vegetables and eat flowers, so they are considered a pest. How they affect our environment. Iguanas compete with other herbivorous animals for food, more specific plants. Sometimes they eat eggs of some birds too. So because of that, we consider iguana a plague and that they affect our environment. Now let's talk about meat industry. It says that it brings more problems than solutions. Although some people say that our meat tastes like pork or chicken, I don't know. I haven't tried it. Um, it brings several problems because they can carry salmonella and their meat is hard to get it out. Because of the salmonella, the people who sell it want the iguanas alive, so they kill them to lower the risk of salmonella. The love for exotic animals does not decrease the population. It is not the law that is bad, it's the people who do not follow the laws. We have to enforce those laws we have so people follow them. In the secondary research, we have newspapers and internet articles. In this newspaper article, posted by Primera Hora in this year, we can see that after Hurricane Maria, iguanas are still the same on the island. We can take a look on the title of this article, Se fortalecen las iguanas tras el paso de María. That is that they're basically got stronger. The population did not decrease in any way. That is good for the meat industry, but taking the ecological view or the agriculture view, it is not so good. But for the meat industry, I thought it was good. In this other article made by Univision Puerto Rico on 2016, they address this iguana problem that they are all over the island without a natural predator. Also, they talk about a group called Los Iguaneros de Aguada that are taking the situation in their hands by killing the iguanas, because the government is not doing very much, and they wanted to, so they are visiting all over the island searching for nest of iguanas to kill their eggs and to try to control this population. In this last article in position and date, we can see that El Nuevo Dia in 2012 said that iguanas can be very dangerous for the endangered animals of the island. All over the presentation, I said that, and that's true because iguanas take the food of our species and take all over the place that is for our species to be, and that can be hard on them. In this video made by National Geographic, we can see the explanation on why iguanas are bad to Puerto Rico. They talk about what they do to crops, what they do to roads, what they do to flights. They address it like the green plague. They said that here is so much the same to where they are, the South and Central America, and that's why they are so good here in Puerto Rico. But they are bad to our species, and they cause problems. And this video said all that. Here are finally the references. I hope you're curious, so search more about this topic and talk about this topic and get to know more about this topic that we think that is so inoffensive, but really is a problem in our island. And I hope you like it. We did it with so much work. Um, any doubts or question, you can contact me, and that is basically all. Um, Iguanas, invasive species in Puerto Rico.